My son isn't just mine, he's your husband's too. Her voice sliced through the room like shards of glass. I froze mid-motion, my hand still clutching the cake knife. The chandelier flickered above, fractured light casting sharp shadows across her face. For a heartbeat, time seemed to stop. She held the child aloft, displaying him like a prize, his tiny legs kicking helplessly. The room was silent. Even the baby seemed to sense the tension, his wide eyes fixed on us. "And your $800,000 house," she continued, waving a thick folder like a trophy. "I want half of that too." The papers inside were stamped with legal authority, neat and undeniable. I stared at her, my sister, my own blood. My husband's coffin hadn't even cooled, yet she was claiming my life, my property. I pressed my lips together to suppress the laugh that threatened to escape. She had no idea what she'd walked into, no sense of the storm already set in motion. I remembered the first time I met him, when I was 22. He was calm in chaos, broad-shouldered, eyes steady, each word a promise of forever. He made me feel seen, rare, precious. My sister had always hovered, smiling a little too widely, leaning just a fraction too close. At first, I dismissed it. Family forgives. Family looks away. Trust is the blindfold we tie around our own eyes. Then cracks appeared. Subtle, almost imperceptible at first. He came home later, shirts carrying faint perfumes not mine. Laughter grew shorter, touches more fleeting. He locked his phone, placed it face down on the counter, pretending the outside world didn't exist, except it did, and it included her. One night, he returned disheveled, collar damp with sweat. Another woman's scent lingered faintly. I said nothing. I only observed, noting the slump of his shoulders, the hesitation before greeting me. Observation is sharper than confrontation. Then the message arrived. Next time, don't leave the necklace. She almost saw it. The necklace, the same one glinting on her neck during our mother's birthday dinner. My heart cracked, yes, but I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I smiled quietly. That night marked the end of mourning and the beginning of planning. Most women break under betrayal. I did not. I became deliberate, precise, patient. Every word to him, every smile at her, every casual gesture was another stitch in the net I wove. I began taking notes, small observations, offhand remarks, times, locations, moods. I learned to predict behavior before it happened. I met lawyers discreetly, under the guise of mundane matters, asking about wills, property, inheritance laws. I watched my husband's reactions to phrases, noting what mattered to him. I uncovered what he assumed I didn't know: offshore accounts, accumulating debts, a revised will signed absent-mindedly. I presented the draft with a smile, a casual kiss on his cheek, as he unknowingly signed a document securing my future entirely. The draft she later found was a decoy. The real will, notarized, signed, witnessed, left no ambiguity. Every asset, every account, every brick of the house belonged solely to me. I let her believe she was winning. The tension before the strike, that is the sweetest part of revenge. I followed them silently, memorized their schedules, gestures, secret signals. Every casual glance, whispered word, private moment she believed hidden became a thread in my web. Her recklessness strengthened my net. She underestimated me at every turn, confident arrogance guiding her toward her own ruin. Then he died suddenly, a heart attack that left everything frozen in disbelief. I wore black head to toe, face carved from stone, moving through the funeral like an automaton. Lilies scented the air, whispers of condolences brushed past like distant echoes. People commented on my composure, my strength, my devotion. She cried louder than anyone, clutching the child as if he were a shield, performing the grieving sister role perfectly. She was meticulous, each sob timed, each gesture calculated. Anyone could be fooled, anyone but me. At the graveside, I watched her. Every forced tear, every tremor in her hands betrayed her greed. My husband 6 feet under, and she flaunted his illegitimate child like a golden ticket. The crowd expected me to collapse, to rage or sob. I leaned back, calm, and whispered, "I see." I smiled. Only I knew the storm that would follow. 2 weeks later, she filed her claim, waving the will in front of her lawyer, demanding half of everything. He read it twice, face pale, lips pressed. "This isn't what you think," he said carefully. Confused, she frowned. He explained slowly. The document she held was a decoy. The real will left every asset to me. Her hands shook. She accused me of forgery and deceit. I remained seated, legs crossed, calm as winter. "Be careful what you announce in public. People may start wondering why your son looks so much like my deceased husband." Her confidence crumbled, replaced by raw fear. Word spread quickly. Friends, relatives, neighbors, all eyes turned on her. Invitations stopped coming. Birthday photos of her child were whispered about, not celebrated. Social circles that once embraced her recoiled. She was no longer a proud mother, only the sister who betrayed her own family. Her panic escalated. Whispers turned into confrontations. Questions she could not answer piled up. Every ally she had began to turn away. Her overestimation of herself became her undoing. One night, she appeared at my door. Eyes swollen, hands trembling, voice pleading. "Please, don't do this. He's still my son. Don't ruin us." I studied her, each quiver, each hitch in her voice, each flicker of fear. Calmly, I said, "My sister, the girl I once shared secrets with, who braided my hair when we were children, you ruined yourself." My voice was soft, steady, final. The house was silent except for the faint ticking of the grandfather clock. She understood. Every scheme she had planned, every calculated step, every expectation of victory had been anticipated, outmaneuvered, and reversed. She was powerless. I reflected on the irony. She thought herself clever, me weak, the world pliable. She had failed to account for patience, calculation, timing, narrative control, and the quiet, relentless advance of strategy. Weeks passed. Invitations never returned. Social gatherings ignored her. Family avoided her gaze. She watched helplessly as her reputation dissolved. Every photograph, every social media post, every casual encounter reminded her of her isolation. Her child, once a shield, could not save her from judgment. The whispers followed her everywhere. I maintained my composure. Every smile measured, every word placed with intent. I allowed her to feel the slow collapse of her carefully constructed world. Each frantic appeal, each threat, each desperate plea received the same quiet certainty from me. I did not need to shout or strike. Control over every outcome was my weapon. Finally, one evening, she sat across from me in the dim light of the parlor, exhausted, defeated, unable to muster another lie. The child slept in the other room. Her eyes were wide, haunted, realizing the full scope of her loss. I leaned forward slightly, voice low but sharp. "You thought you could take from me, that I would crumble, that I would fail. But everything belongs to me. And now you are nothing but the shadow of your own ambition." She slumped, shoulders sagging, trembling with regret and fear. I had won not just legally, not just materially, but in exposure, dominance, and the total reversal of every expectation she had harbored. Her world was reduced to whispers, shame, and isolation. In that moment, I allowed myself a private, victorious smile. Revenge is not the storm you see. It is the quiet, deliberate ruin no one notices until it is complete.